Hello, my name is Cameron Bushloper, and I will be talking about my story, Unlikely Luck. So, the film starts out with Jonah Thorne, who is one of the main characters, and he walks into his office building of Northern Insurance. So, he works at an insurance company, and it's in downtown Milwaukee. This is going to take place in mid-June, and he walks into his building and he starts dapping up his coworkers and his friends in there, talking about how he just scammed another family who lives in like the bad area of the city, and how much money that him and the company's going to be making off of this. The story then flips back to the narrator explaining the backstory of this company and how it's just a very fraudful, manipulative, deceptive company, and how they prey on the low-income, poverty-stricken immigrant families who have no community, no funding, and no family to help them out and figure out if this like insurance company is good or not for them. So that's what they prey on, and they just make things so expensive for them, or these families have to pay them back for years and years. Sorry, my cat just came into this. The film shoots back out of the building of Northern Insurance and pans over the downtown Milwaukee area, and then it zooms back in on the new location, which is Metro Market in Milwaukee. So this is where we meet the other main character, who is Katie Reed, and she's working as a cashier in this grocery store. And so the first little scene of her is her just scanning groceries, checking out customers, and just chatting it up with them. And you can see just like her bubbly personality. And while this is happening, the narrator is explaining like about her personality, how she is, and how she's such a sweet person. She just wants to see people happy and make people smile. So a day later after this, Jonah goes into the Metro Market to grab some food during his lunch break, and he ends up going through Katie's register line. And then something about her just like made him feel loved, which he never felt before. So he ends up writing down his number on a napkin that he had gotten with his lunch, and he slides it over to her, and then she puts it in her little register drawer until the end of her shift. And then she ends up taking it out at the end and messages him, and the following day they end up going to dinner together, and they really hit it off. So Katie is really good at reading people, and on this first date she can tell he might not be the right person for her. He is very self-centered, arrogant, and just likes to talk about himself, but she really believes that she can change him, and she has had this unlikely luck when it comes to relationships and love, where she just goes for the wrong guys and goes for people who aren't good for her and who just completely drain her. And this is no different with Jonah. The relationship continues on, and and she feels constantly drained by just putting up with how disloyal he is, and she kind of realizes that what his company does to people is not just how he acts at work, it's also how he acts in real life with their relationship. He tries to manipulate her and make her feel bad, and just literally takes every ounce of happiness and just drains it out of her. Despite all of this, they continue dating, and although Katie feels constantly drained by putting up with Jonah, she's not able to leave the relationship, because she still believes that there's good in him and that she can bring it out of him in time. And Jonah will never own up to anything that he does, even though it's very obvious that he does it. And because there is no proof for Katie, she just continues to believe him and hold out for the good. All is made clear to Katie, however, when Jonah gets promoted to CFO of his company, and the CEO ends up getting pregnant with his child. So the CEO's name is Alexis Lane, and she had been working very closely with Jonah in multiple ways, as you can tell, just because of their new positions. Katie, at this point, does not know what to do. There's no way that Jonah can deny this anymore, that he's cheating and been disloyal. So, also at this point, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention this earlier, they were moved in together. So that adds another element of confusion of what to do. So she ends up spending the night in her car, not knowing what to do, because technically the apartment that they're living in is Jonah's, and so she doesn't really have anything. She's still been working her job at the grocery store, but Jonah's been making her pay rent, so she hasn't had much money to help her out. So while spending the night in her car, she's up all night crying, upset, obviously, and she looks down at the clock and it's 5:55, and she's very big into manifestation and angel numbers and that kind of thing. And so 555 in angel numbers means that change is coming and you need to let go of the good or the bad things so that good things can come to you. So she takes this as a sign and goes back to the apartment the next day, packs up her things, and lives in her car for a while still working at the grocery store and using her coworkers like houses from time to time to clean up, do laundry, that kind of thing. But she takes this awful thing that happened to her as a way for her to get back on track in life. She goes back to college. She starts getting her money again. She's working more hours. She's taking up another job. She ends up graduating college, and she was majoring in political science. So she started interning for this law firm company. And the head of this law firm is Marcus Zan. She was just working as a secretary for this firm, but she was also like a little apprentice for Marcus from time to time. Maybe a year or so goes on, and Katie reaches the point where she is going to help out on one of the cases for this law firm. And it just so happens that this case is a lawsuit against Northern Insurance, and one of the main people who's being charged is Jonah. The company's being charged for all of their fraudful, manipulative tactics, and Katie gets to help lead in prosecuting them. Katie ends up winning this case for her client, and then Jonah goes to jail for 10 years for all of the stuff that he had done in the company, and the business or their insurance company ends up shutting down, and they lose all of their money. So not only is Jonah in jail, he is in jail and does not have money to bail himself out of jail. Katie, in her life right now, she is at a high, and she ends up developing a relationship with Marcus Zan, the one who was the law firm, and they continue their lives and they be a successful lawyer couple together. So I have like the basis of my story down, but I do need to add in a lot more of like the dialogue and I guess some more of like the potatoes, like of the meat and potatoes. I got the meat, but I just need the potatoes in there now. But I do feel like I have a decent guideline with what I'm working with. I definitely am more into the film aspect of it. I'm not very good at the writing part or the dialogues. I don't know, I'm just not good at that. But if it came to like actually filming it, I feel like that's what I would excel at, but that's not this class. But yeah, I'm excited to finish the story.